Hey friends, my name is Jackson. I'm not your average NB, and welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to be doing a best of Reddit updates video, and this is going to be shorter than the other videos, like the other best of Reddit update videos I've done in the past. It's only going to be probably about an hour or so, but I just do want to get a little bit of content out to you guys to keep you guys satiated, because there might not be another update for at least like a few, like there might not be another video for at least another 5 or 6 days while I'm putting a lot of work and energy into my 10-year anniversary special, because I have to do 10 different lists, and it's a lot of work. And my mom is gonna be at work tomorrow because it's Friday, and then she's gonna be in Niagara Falls all day Saturday visiting my sister. So she's not gonna be here, so I'm actually just gonna get a jump on the work for my 10-year anniversary. And I am also planning, on top of the 10 top 10 lists, I'm planning to put another Reddit video out as part of the anniversary special. Um, and then after that, I'm going to be taking a prolonged break for a few weeks, probably until I have to get ready for the Christmas special, and then um, doing the end of the year video, and then that's going to be it. At least for a while, because because I'm probably gonna be getting my book over the Christmas holidays, or at least I hope that's what's gonna be happening. So then I'm gonna be editing my book, and I'm also working on getting a job right now. They have an employment program. Um, my support worker told me about it. I have a different support worker now. I've had a different support worker for a while, so she told me about it, and we're gonna be going and talking about it on Thursday and having that meeting. So I'm gonna enroll and stuff. And then basically they're gonna help me get a job. So I'm finally gonna be able to get a part-time job, like I won't shut up about. Like, I have been trying to get a job for ages, pretty much ever since the COVID pandemic ended. Or became less serious, I guess I should say. But like ever since COVID ended and kind of became not such a big deal. Like, I mean, people don't have to constantly wear masks, and I'm actually supposed to be getting the new COVID shot soon. I have to ask my mom about that. But I think they had a new shot coming out, so I'll be getting that too. But anyway, I'm gonna dive into some Reddit stories now, but I'm gonna be getting a part-time job, and I've got some other stuff going on, like my writing and stuff and editing my book. So I might just be away for a while. I might be taking that break that I talked about before. Unless I can't get the book, which is looking like a real possibility at this point. Because not only is half of it in my mom's friend's house, which she refuses to go to and get me the book for various reasons, and she won't let me ask her friend if I can go over there myself for a reason I cannot comprehend. But the other half of the book is actually with my uncle. I gave it to him to read years ago, and I have to get it back from him. And that might seem like the more Herculean task, but it's looking like getting it from my uncle is actually going to be the easy part. Okay, I'm going to read a few Reddit stories now. I keep yawning, sorry. Hang on. Uh, Also, please give me a little bit of grace, as my sleep schedule has been, well, my sleep schedule isn't terrible. My sleep schedule is actually decent, because I go to bed around 11:15, and then my mom usually wakes me up at 8 before she leaves for work. The only problem is, for the last few weeks, I keep having to pee in the middle of the night pretty much every night. There's been like a few nights where I haven't woken up during the night to pee, but most nights I have to wake up in the middle of the night to pee, and then I have to fucking go back to sleep, and it's exhausting. And you guys know how hard it is to go back to sleep when you've already been awake. And then sometimes it'll be like 6:30 or 7, and I'm like, well, I can't go back to sleep now because it's too late to go back to sleep. So I just end up waking up early, which screws up my sleep schedule even more. And I recently had blood work, so I had to wake up friggin' early for that, and that it's been exhausting. So anyway, The so this one is from Best of Redditor Updates. I mean, because they all are. Um, and this is originally from Am I Wrong? This is originally from Am I Wrong? And it's titled, Am I Wrong for Not Giving My Sister My Baby? No, OP, outright. Sexual level harassment. Oh, this is so crazy. This was posted on July 13th, 2023. July 13th is my birthday. Um, I'm aware how insane this title is, but hear me out. I am female 28. My husband Lucas is 39. Well, that's an 11-year age gap. And my younger half sister from my dad's side is Leah, 24. My husband and I met through work 5 years ago, but we didn't date right away. We tied the knot by eloping 2 years ago, as I predicted that Leah would cause wedding drama. Leah herself had a failed engagement 1 year ago. We gave her our condolences, but she said if I really cared, I would stop wearing my engagement ring around her flaunting it. Does she go and tell that to random strangers too? Hey, I'm upset because you're wearing a wedding ring around me and I had to cancel an engagement. Like people are supposed to care, or does she just think because you're family that you should take off the either way it's ridiculous. I obviously did not take it off. It's a vintage ring that is an heirloom in Lucas's family. I'm now 5 months pregnant with a baby girl. She wasn't planned, but she's a very welcome surprise. Lucas is so excited to be a girl dad, it's very funny. Ever since I announced my pregnancy, it wasn't a fancy thing just over dinner. Leah has been very snippy and standoffish with me. Fine, it didn't really affect me, we're not that close. But then I noticed when we go to visit my dad or are at family gatherings, she's very touchy with Lucas. She giggles at every joke he makes. It doesn't really bother me. I'm secure in my marriage, and if anything, it makes her look silly. Um, We had a blended family event with both mom and dad's side, and we were discussing baby names when Leah freaked out, screeching at me that she's the one who deserves a husband and a baby, not me. I never wanted marriage or kids. I was focused on getting a career. And she stormed off. Later on, my dad and his wife said she shouldn't have shouted, but I was flaunting my marriage and pregnancy when I knew she had a failed engagement and had always wanted a baby. Wait, what? Okay, how are you flaunting? Are people just not allowed to be pregnant near her? Like, no one is allowed to be pregnant around her. I'm sorry. Like, what did you expect her to do? What did she expect you to do? Just terminate the pregnancy because it might offend her? Um, I thought that was it, but yesterday the three of them asked to talk and they came over to ours and they legitimately asked if I would give Leah my baby. Like, they weren't joking, they said it seriously. They said she deserved it more than me, as she wouldn't neglect being a mother for a career. Yo, she's not gonna neglect her baby just because she has a career. You can have a kid and have a career. You don't need to. No, of course, if they don't want the baby, then they would have gotten rid of the pregnancy, right? Or they would be putting the kid up for adoption. But no, they want this baby. Clearly, like, she's put things like she's willing to put what she needs to put aside to care for this kid. But like to say that you can't have a baby and a career because you're gonna just neglect your baby, that's ridiculous. There are so many working single moms who have a baby and a career. My mom did it with 2 kids, okay? She can be a mom and have an amazing career as a teacher. She was a teacher for like 20 years or something. God knows my dad didn't work. But even when she was a single mom, which was practically all the time, but when she was a single mom after my dad left with me and my younger sister, she managed just fine. She was able to balance a career and taking care of 2 kids. So if she can do it with 2 kids, then Leah's sister can certainly do it with 1 kid. Uh, anyway, Lucas was stunned, but then promptly got them out of our house. I heard Leah clinging to his arm, telling him she could be a good stay-at-home mom. My mom and her side of the family are furious. Leah's mom said it was malicious of me to tell my mom's family, and that I had really upset Leah when we eloped, so I had to make it up to her, and that my mom doesn't have a say. He doesn't get to say, what the actual fuck? Edit, just to address some things. Yes, unfortunately, this is real and it happens often. Look up the case of Taylor Parker. Hang on. What happened with Taylor Parker? Okay, what is this? Case of Taylor Parker. Taylor Parker sentenced to death for killing pregnant friend to steal her baby. What? No. She murdered this woman. Are you insane? Taylor Parker handed the death sentence for murdering her friend and cutting her baby from her womb. Holy crap. Parker is now on death row but plans to appeal. Okay. Hopefully she doesn't get that appeal though. That is so fucked up and she deserves. This whole thing is really stressful. I'm immune compromised, so I'm really feeling run down and have to be careful. Lastly, Lucas is actually Swedish, so that is an option to those of you who have suggested moving. Interesting. Comment, user1 who has a negative score apparently. This can't be real. You seriously had to come to Reddit and ask if you should give up your child for a pity adoption to your sister? This stupid question is probably just the surface of a lot more crazy going on in your family, internal and external. Your child is going to have a long 18 years before they can break away from this insanity. OOP says, obviously, I'm not asking if I should give her my daughter. I'm fucking pissed and needed a sounding board. User 2, you should honestly have all of this documented someplace, not just on Reddit. Take videos, keep notes, etc. This very likely isn't the end of it. Yeah, that's terrifying, dude. User 1, you're posting this to show you what the fuck, not because you actually have doubts about who's in the right, about who is in the wrong here, right? If I was you, I would avoid that sister at all costs and limit contact with any family that supports her selfish delusions. OOP. Yeah, of course, my family's nuts and I really needed a sounding board. I'd never give my baby up. Obviously. User 2, make sure the hospital is informed that those people are not allowed anywhere near you or your baby when delivery time comes. I wonder if they can be banned from the maternity floor entirely. Sounds like they might be nuts enough to try and steal your baby from the nursery. Yeah, absolutely. That is a terrifying thing that happens. I mean, not often, but it's a thing that happens. People steal babies, and absolutely, this is terrifying behavior. If I were you, I would go no contact and also get like some kind get a restraining order from the sister because you freaking need it. And yeah, it sounds like she's actually leading up to do something terrible like steal your baby. What the fuck? User 3, oh, they absolutely can be banned. Never mess with the nurse in the maternity ward. Comments. User 1, this, I actually feel scared for OP. I feel like there's a real risk here of Leah and her mother taking OP's baby away. User 2, I feel like there's a real risk here of Leah and her mother taking OP's baby away. Or worse, I hate to mention this, and I sincerely hope it is just my imagination going wild after reading this post, but OP should really make plans what should happen to the child in case something happens to her and her husband. Half sister and her parents sound really deranged. User 3, goodness, I didn't even really think of that. I would clearly document all the accusations, wild behaviors, etc., with approximate dates and times. Then have a will made out that states where the child is to go if something happens and why. Include a copy of all the evidence in case they try to contest it. OOP, thank you. We've made sure it's in writing that my mom gets custody if anything happens to us. User 4, if you don't already, I'd have cameras installed around the house, maybe even inside at this point. I'm sorry you're going through this. It's insane that they have to take so many precautions just to protect this baby, but it does sound like that the sister could do something terrible. Comments. User 1. Your sister and her mother are certifiably insane. You need to remove them from your life because they might decide to take your baby if you stay in contact. User 2. Yeah, unfortunately, most kids who are abducted are usually abducted by family members. 90% of kidnappings are done by a child's family members or parents. Keep your kid away from them, OP. They sound unstable and clearly your jealous sister wants to steal your life away from you. Your kid, your husband, all of it. She sounds mentally unstable, and I'd really caution against allowing your sister or parents near your kid. The fact that any of them thought it was the fact that any of them thought it was reasonable, normal, or acceptable to ask to take your baby and give it to your sister shows how dangerous and unhinged all three of them are. OOP. God, that's a terrifying statistic. More comments. Oh, user one, you need to cut them off completely. Quite frankly, I'm surprised you haven't done already. They should never meet your child. And what was your husband doing when she was throwing herself at him? OOP, throwing them out of our apartment. User one, please update us because this is wild. Personally, I would tell all of them to go F themselves and block every single one of them. I also wouldn't trust the grandparents either. We're in Sweden with Lucas's family at the moment. We decided to go for a break from the stress and are exploring our possibilities. Um, I don't user one. I don't see what state you currently live in, but if you don't move to Sweden, you should definitely move to Sweden. Be very cautious of not getting the insane sister and stepmom, but also to F your father. Grandparents' rights are a thing in a lot of states, and if he establishes a relationship with your child, it could end up giving the psycho sister access to them. My dad's parents got grandparents' rights to me when I was a kid, and it was fucking awful. Um, OOP, we're in DC. I could do an update. I could do an update if people want, but we've essentially decided to move out to Sweden. We're out here on vacation now. Am I wrong for not giving my sister my baby? Update August 11th, 2023. Okay. Hi guys, I just wanted to give y'all an update as you asked for it. I saw it made it onto a TikTok podcast, which was amusing. If someone wants to pass this update along, please do. Point one, obviously, I'm not actually asking if I should give Leah my baby. I was venting, sorry if I put it in the wrong sub. Lucas and I are in Sweden right now on vacation and have explored the possibility of moving here. He works for a Swedish company in the US anyway, so it would just be a case of moving, and my work is fluid. I can pick up a job in most countries. I've asked my mom if she would think about coming with us. We would help set her up and make sure she was looked after, and this way she can see her grandbaby whenever rather than being an ocean apart. Leah's fuming apparently, sulking and being an all around awful person. Because OOP has not confirmed whether she and her husband will be moving to Sweden, and she has not provided any further context in the comments of the update, there is reason to believe that there might be future updates, so this is being marked as ongoing. I feel like OP's reaction was that one gif of Julia Lewis Dreyfus laughing nervously and saying, "What the fuck?" This one. And there's a link to a GIF. Oh, hang on. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, especially after I was flaunting my marriage and pregnancy when I know she had a failed engagement and had always wanted a baby. Yes, flaunting her marriage and pregnancy by check notes existing. I was wondering how exactly a marriage can be flaunted. I sincerely doubt OOP was going, I'm married and you are not around Leah. I thought she might still be wearing her wedding dress every day and carrying around a bouquet of dead flowers, although that's getting a bit Miss Havisham, Delta Dawn vibes. But, she was wearing her engagement ring and her wedding ring, and she announced at a not special dinner that she was pregnant. None of these are normal. How dare she? I snorted so loudly. They eloped specifically so Leah couldn't cause any drama at their wedding. If anyone was flaunting their marriage, it wasn't them. If anything, they were walking on eggshells. And according to Leah's mother, she was so offended by that OP owes her the baby to make up for it. Didn't get to be maid of honor, didn't get to catch the bouquet, didn't get to pull all the attention to herself. How dare OOP not give her all these things? Or at least her child, since OOP dared to have a career that enabled her to meet her husband. Yikes, I was at move immediately and don't tell anyone even the city by the end of the first post. OOP's half sis probably would have worn a white dress to the wedding, if not an actual wedding dress. I bet she was definitely going to be one of those women. It's cream, not white, silly. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have a purple dress. I mean, if I was to have a wedding, which probably will never happen for reasons, but if I did end up having a wedding, I think my dress would be purple, and I'd be like, okay, nobody's allowed to wear purple or anything, but you can wear white. I don't know. Anyway, boop boop. Okay. Hmm. Alright. There's a really similar story I just found. I know this is supposed to be all best of retro updates, but you guys know how this works. We like to take it off course. So, this is an r/advice. My I'm a 28 female, and my 35-year-old sister is demanding I either abort or let her adopt my baby. Why? Ugh. I, a 28 female, am currently 19 weeks pregnant. My partner, 29 male, and I are very excited as this is our first baby and we have been trying for a few months. We announced the pregnancy a month ago at a dinner party we hosted, and everyone seemed surprised and overjoyed. My sister, a 35 female, who I will call Kay, immediately burst into tears and asked me how I could do this to her. I stared at her and asked, "What?" She started ranting, saying that I always got everything I wanted, which is not true. I worked hard for all that I have, and that she knew I got pregnant just so I could rub her infertility in her face. What? Okay. She screamed at me for 5 minutes about how I didn't deserve to be a mother and she should be the one pregnant right now. My parents left with her soon after, and the party was basically over. I was really disturbed by my sister's reaction because we had been pretty close before and she had never done anything like this. Kay called me the next day, apologizing for how she acted at my announcement, and asked if we could meet up for coffee. I accepted. We met up and she pretended as if nothing had happened. Then she started a big speech about her infertility, how heartbreaking it is to be growing life inside of her, just to lose it, and how she had always wanted children of her own. She then proceeded to ask me if I could consider getting an abortion to make things fair or letting her adopt my baby. I stared at her and asked if she was serious. Kay said she was. I just dropped my part of the bill on the table and left. Elle texted me a rant about Elle texted me a rant that night about how I'd made Kay cry and how all they wanted was to be parents and that this meant so much to them and I owed them for being more successful than them. I and my partner invested many years into our jobs and we have worked very hard to earn what we earn now. I told them that my partner and I had been hoping for kids too, and that I was not giving up my baby. He hung up. She later sent me a long letter that was 4 pages long about how she had always wanted to be a mother and could I either consider abortion or letting her adopt my baby, how I should care about my older sister's happiness, how she would make a better mom, how the oldest kid should have the first grandchild, and how I could always have another baby since it was so easy for me to conceive. I just want to say it's not easy to make a baby or grow a human inside of you or like n- go through a pregnancy. I've never been through that before and I never will be because even if I do want kids in the future that aren't stuffed animals and that are, human, I'm going to adopt. I'm never going to get pregnant. Like I'm not going to get pregnant. I don't it's not happening. I just don't want to, and I would rather adopt a kid when there are other kids out in the world who could use a home. Why would I bring another one into the world and also possibly give it my issues because autism and depression can be passed on to the kids. But anyway, it is not easy to make a baby or go through a pregnancy. It's never easy to grow a human inside of you. Like, why does everyone think pregnancy is so easy? It's not. And everyone always talks about pregnancy being just this magical, beautiful time when it's fucking not. I don't know why people say that. It literally sounds terrible. Like, I don't understand. But yeah, it's so easy for her to conceive. And just because this pregnancy goes on without a hitch, if it does in fact go all the way without a hitch, doesn't mean the next one will be fine. So even if she gives you this baby, what if she keeps on having miscarriages and stuff with the other ones, and then she never gets a baby, and it's disappointing for her. And beyond that, she's not obligated to give you her baby just because she's your sister. After that, she quieted down some, and I thought we were done with this, except it wasn't. She had posted my sonogram on her Facebook and captioned it, Elle and I are expecting. We can't wait to meet our little princess. I was seeing red. I texted her and demanded she take the post down. No reply. I texted Elle. No reply. So I called my mother and told her what happened. She was able to make Kay take the post down, luckily enough. Kay has called me petty for calling my mom and has continued to demand I give up my baby. I sent her a letter explaining that I had had enough of her nonsense. I am keeping my baby, and that I recommend she get some help. I added that if she continues, I will not hesitate to call 999, which is the equivalent of 911 in like a different country, I think in Britain or something. Um, This weekend, however, was the absolute last straw. My mom and dad have the spare key in my house, and while she was over at their house for brunch, she took the key while my partner and I were at work. She broke into our house and stole all the clothing, blankets, nappies, bottles, and pretty much any other item we had bought for the baby except furniture. It was later returned after my mom found it in her car. I called 999, but they told me I couldn't do anything because I had no proof and because it was all returned. My partner and I are moving in April, but I'm still scared my sister will find out where we live and take my child. I get that she's upset and jealous due to her infertility, but that shouldn't mean I have to give up my baby. My parents know about this and they've been doing their best to get her some help. She doesn't want to adopt because she wants a child that's her own flesh and blood. I'm due in August, and the stress she's causing cannot and will not be good for me or the baby. My partner is looking into a cease and desist letter. Is there anything else I should do or say? I'm scared for my baby. Then there was an update a while later, update 28/3/22. The support I've received from this website is overwhelming. Thank you for all your comments. Although I couldn't reply to all of them, they are appreciated. We've had the locks changed, we got cameras installed, and a ring doorbell. I've started saving every letter and screenshotting every message my sister has sent, plan to take them to court for a restraining order very soon. We've also been seriously documenting everything. My husband and I are planning a trip to Ireland for our anniversary next week, and it's going to be good to clear our heads for my sister. I've called 999 to report her for harassment, and they gave her a warning. She's contacted me saying that if I won't give her my child, I can at least pay for multiple rounds of IVF, which I've not replied to other than refusing. She's been begging my parents to convince me to give up my baby, which they refuse to do. Obviously. They've also been given a statement in that basically says that if they give her my contact information, they will not see my baby, to which they have agreed. I since changed my phone number and we are moving very soon. My sister does not know our new address. She actually stood on our stoop for 20 minutes a few days ago, banging on our door and yelling. My husband opened a window and told her that if she didn't leave, he would let the dog out and threatened to call the police. We have a rather small but hyper puppy who jumps on everyone and barks a lot, and she is quite scared of dogs, actually, so this made her leave. I think the sister is quite scared of dogs, not the dog. Okay. I started working from home last week, as did my husband, and we followed the advice of one of the comments, washed all the baby stuff, as well as made sure none of the food in our kitchen was messed with. None was, luckily. We're planning on getting a restraining order as soon as possible, and are looking forward to our trip. I'm already sick of being pregnant, and I'm not even in the third trimester. I just want my baby. Thank you all again for your wonderful advice, and I may update you again when the baby is born. And it looks like there was never an update for that, so I'm just going to read the comments. Your sister is mentally ill and needs help. I don't say that as a joke or to insult her. She's sick and dangerous. Honestly, I think your fears are very well founded. I would block her on everything and give your parents very strict orders that if you find out they've given her access to any info about your living situation or pregnancy, that you will be forced to cut them all off for your safety. I'd also go talk to a lawyer to see if there's anything you can do to protect yourself here. In the US, you can get a restraining order so that the person will be arrested if they come near you. Last, though, would be to make sure you have cameras recording your new place. And then someone responds, all of this, OP. Forget the fact that she is your sister. Treat her as a dangerous stalker. Block her on everything. Lock down all your social media accounts to the most private settings you can, so she can't get pics, etc. from there, even with a fake account. Do not share your new address with anyone you don't fully trust. Set the boundaries with your parents that if they are the leak, you'll cut them off too and mean it. Same with any mutual friends. Edit and document everything, every attempt at contacting you, every interaction with friends, family that you hear about, everything. Write down times, places, dates, and descriptions. This may be your only hope in getting a restraining order later. I started documenting back in February. Don't worry, says OP. Also, please make sure that when you use daycare, get a babysitter, etc., they are aware of the situation and will not let your sister take your baby. It's so common for family to help parents out in emergency situations. A lot of people wouldn't think twice about trusting your sister with your child. This, I'd say anyone you leave your baby with, let them know. They need to know your sister can't be trusted to be near your child. Another thing is the sister may claim she was sent by OP to pick up the child and kidnapped that way. We had a code word as kids. Make up a really weird word that only you and your kid know about. If the person doesn't come with that word, don't go. This is such a good idea. Thanks for the idea. Alright. Same for your doctor, your child's pediatrician, and the hospital where you will be giving birth. Yes, you need to tell the hospital she is not welcome. And there's other similar comments like that. Um, oh, I know what I want to read. Aw, someone got a kitten. Hi, little kitten. Oh, sweetie. He's beautiful. Anyway, I'm gonna go into my save posts because there's a bunch of stuff in here. No, 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 no. Um, I'm looking for a specific post. I'm looking for the post. Um, doot, doot, doot. Okay, here we go. I found it. This is the post I was telling you guys about in that last video, and I said that I would read it. Um, it was there was a post in r slash am I the devil, and then I was linked to this post in one of the comments. I didn't react the right way to my husband's pranks, and now our marriage is not the same. Fun animal fact. Most Siamese kittens are born completely white and they develop their markings in the weeks following birth. To tell the kittens apart, owners often paint their claws, which can't retract until they're about 4 weeks old, with pet safe nail polish. Aw, that's cute. Trigger warnings, cheating and divorce. Okay. Uh Recovered with Web Archive. If you think we're young, then think again. I'm female 35 and he's male 33, and I can't believe this is really happening. I begged him to go to therapy with me, but he's refusing any type of conversation. About a month ago, while having Sunday breakfast, my husband left his iPad on the counter when I was doing the dishes and went to the gym. Now I think about it, he went out of his way to draw my attention to the iPad the whole morning, placing it on display and leaving it wherever I was. Now I know why. While I was loading the dishwasher, he got a text and a picture of a naked female torso, and you missed this? The number belonged to Eve. I froze in my tracks. We've been married for 2 years and we have two children together, a, a 5-year-old boy and a 3-year-old girl. Against my better judgment, I started looking, and there was this full conversation for over a week. He was cheating on me with this Eve. I can't describe the amount of pain I felt, and I ran to the bathroom vomiting and crying. Anyway, when he got back from the gym and asked me what's wrong, I just handed him the iPad and told him that he has gotten a text from Eve and that I need to go out for a walk if he could stay with the children. He said okay. I went for a 3-hour walk. He texted me multiple times if I was okay, and I said that I was fine, just needed the walk. I don't remember crying this much my entire life. When I got home, I told him that I knew about his affair and asked him how we're going to do this. Do what? I told him that we obviously can't stay married, but that I needed to know how we're going to do this with the least damage possible to the children. I told him that since he has his parents living near, he could move out and let me stay with the children for now until we separated. Is this really all your reaction? Are you fucking serious right now? I just looked at him all puzzled. What did he mean by that? I told him that I couldn't discuss this now because I was exhausted. He started yelling that I was so careless and cold. My reaction to his infidelity wasn't the proper reaction, or at least not the one he expected. He then shoved the iPad in my hands and asked me to call Eve. I refused and ran to our room because I couldn't believe how cruel he was, wanting me to call his mistress. Fucking call the number! I did. The number belonged to his friend, and he was laughing on the other line, saying it was all a prank. It took me a few moments to get it, but then I started crying. My husband was livid at the way I handled the prank. He was disappointed that I didn't care enough. I don't know what he wanted me to do. He couldn't explain how he expected me to act. He just yelled that he didn't expect this. Now, a month later, he's still so cold and distant with me. I tried to apologize and explain that I was hurt but shocked because that wasn't him. I tried to explain that I just didn't want to hurt our children. I told him that I loved him so much and that if that was something true, it would have broken me. It did for the few hours I believed the prank. He thinks I'm too cold and apathetic and my reaction was abnormal. So now he's cold and apathetic towards me, and I think this whole situation is abnormal. Edit. Sorry for making my post even longer, but many have requested clarification. I don't know why the apologizing part is being taken out of context, making me out to be a weak woman with no self respect. I'm not apologizing or begging. I apologized, and not because I thought I did anything wrong, but because he was hurt by my lack of emotions. I explained to him that my lack of emotions came from shock and not indifference. He did not buy it, and that's where we are now. Also, the fact that I answered truthfully about my husband never acting this way before and was downvoted because of it. I'm not saying that because I'm a victim of brainwashing, but because that's the truth. I'm not defending him. I'm trying to be accurate in case someone actually wants to help me and needs all the facts rather than cast judgment based on their own experiences and assumptions. Yeah. you will get downvoted for the dumbest shit on Reddit, including opinions that people don't agree with. But yeah, this is the first time we have hit a dead end, it seems, in our relationship. We have always been a loving couple, and if I was a weak, manipulated, abused wife with low self respect, I wouldn't be planning separation and divorce the moment I thought he was cheating. I won't be engaging with the negativity anymore. That's the best route. And I honestly regret opening up to strangers just to be attacked. I'm thankful for the support from the rest, the majority, but I hate the feeling that I need to agree with bullshit assumptions or I'm being defensive or apologist. I'm not deleting this post in case someone somewhere can benefit from it, but I'm done here. Have a good day. The first update couldn't be found or recovered on Reddit. However, I found the full story on TikTok and transcribed the missing update for you all, and there's a bunch of TikTok videos. Update 1. Hi, I decided to make an update after all, mostly out of respect for all of the people reaching out asking for one. I will make it private, however, because honestly, as much as I appreciate the enormous response, it became overwhelming for me. I couldn't read all the comments and the bad ones stuck with me more than I want to admit. I never considered myself weak or stupid or as easily manipulated as I was portrayed. This morning, before my husband dropped off the children at daycare and the dogs at the dog center, I asked him to talk to me. I told him that his treatment of me for the last month wasn't sustainable and that I have given him space long enough. But now he has to do something. Talk to me, try and find a solution, or set me free. He asked me to meet up with him for lunch because we were both running late for work. At lunch, he apologized for the prank, and he said he couldn't believe that he went with it, and how stupid it was of him to think that it was harmless and playful. He said that he had been feeling miserable about it and so guilty, but that he has never felt so worthless in his entire life. I showed him how disposable he was to me, and how easily I could believe something this horrible about him, accept it, and make plans to move on within hours. Even if I have cheated on you, you showed no sign that you love me enough to at least ask me why. If the roles were reversed, he would have been angry. He would have confronted me. He would have asked me why, who the other man was, who it was that he, the other man, had, what it was that he, the other man, had that he didn't, and so on. I told him I was thinking of all these things, but I had other priorities, like the stability of my children's family life and the hurt it would cause them to have divorced parents, because he knew me well enough to understand that I would never forgive a cheater. I pushed away my anger and feelings of disappointment because all I was thinking of was how we could provide our children the best life with two homes. I was eventually going to process the anger and hurt. I knew I had all the time later for grief and rage. So he told me that he wanted to move out to his parents, but that he wasn't sure how to manage without seeing the children every day. So I suggested that he could pick them up from daycare every day, since I work later than him. I could pick them up from my in laws after work. I also suggested that we split the weekend. He was silent while I was planning. He then said, I love you, and kissed and hugged me for a long while, for the first time in weeks. When I got home after picking the children and the dogs, he was already done with his clothes. He texted me around 11 p.m. saying that he couldn't believe that I was doing this again and that he was done. I'm sorry, what? What is she doing again? I called him and he told me I was, again, a matter of fact and unemotional. I seemed unfazed, like him moving out wasn't a big deal. He felt redundant again and disposable and unnecessary in my life. Told him this was so unfair, and I have, because I missed him, and I have missed him all these weeks. When he was ignoring me, I was just trying to give him space and respect his wishes because I still wanted us to work things out. He didn't want to listen anymore, so we hung up. At 2 a.m., he texted that this wasn't working for him and I wanted a divorce. I texted back, okay. Oh my god. Update. My husband has apologized. Thank you for everyone. Thank you everyone for your help. Um, okay. August 16th, 2022. I don't know when the original post happened. Uh, hang on a sec. Oh, okay. There is no, yeah, there's no date in the original post. Anyway, I want to thank you so much for all the support. I'm sorry for all the doubtful voices about help from strangers on Reddit. While I'm my own woman and isn't easily manipulated, I was so appreciative of the support here. I was doubting myself, brooding, and all consumed in my own confused thoughts. My husband found my posts and he said he was so ashamed of himself and the way he handled our problem, especially after reading all the comments, calling him out. Now we have a lot of work to do if we're going to make it. I'm still not 100% sure why he acted the way he did because I've always been clear about my feelings and how much I love him. I never felt that life and the children came in the way. It just made my love for him even stronger. But I'm not going to dismiss his feelings if he really felt neglected and disposable. He hasn't moved home yet. We have been on dates and we have been spending quality time together. Before all of this happened, we were talking about having another baby and maybe moving into a bigger house. We are waiting with this. I wasn't sure how I would tell him that I wanted to wait without it sounding like I'm cold. Yeah. And I've given up on our future, so I tried to show more emotions this time and making it clear that I just want to wait until we're back on track and not cancel the plans altogether, but he was actually understanding and kind of relieved. We'll see how this goes. I love and miss him so much, and the children miss their daddy at home. Thank you again. Okay, I'm just wondering why. Why did he do any of this? Why did he fake an affair in the first place? Just to see how you would react? I'm sorry, that is stupid. Your husband is a dumbass, and the way he dug in his heels, I mean, I guess he eventually apologized, but for ages, for at least a month, he just was acting pissed off because you didn't have the exact reaction that he wanted. Like, I don't understand why people get upset when someone doesn't reply the way they want. And like I was talking to this guy on Facebook and he said a bunch of stuff that I didn't understand. And I explained that I didn't understand it and asked for clarification, and he just said something like, "Don't worry about it, internet, blah, blah, blah." I don't remember everything, but it was something about how he gets his content from the internet or something, and don't worry about it. So I just said K, and then he was like, "Oh, well, I don't like your response. Why did you respond if I was just gonna get a K? What's the point in a response?" I was just like, I don't know. What you said didn't exactly invite a lot of conversation. It's just stupid. Also, I'm sorry, this is stupid. You should not be with your husband. This is not a healthy relationship that's built on trust or whatever. Like, if he's gonna be in it, anyone who pretends to cheat, that's a complete deal breaker for me. Like, maybe it's not a deal breaker for you, and I mean, I guess you're entitled to your own opinion, but I'm sorry, this is so dumb. Just what? I don't. Anyway, compare frightened, wrench, chunky, retire attempt, absorbed, abundant cause fuel. I'm sorry, what? This post was mass deleted and anonymized with redact. What the frick does this mean? What does this comment mean? It's just a bunch of random words. My best prank on my wife was when we were both leaving for work, and I made eye contact with her and lowered my window. She lowered hers and I raised mine up. Nice little laugh and low stakes inconvenience if she wasn't amused. Okay. I don't, um, Okie doke. My husband recently pranked me with our Google Smart Speaker. He set it 30 seconds after an alarm to say, "Do the fucking thing the alarm was for. Now, you fucking assholes." Low stakes, we both laughed. The Google was very embarrassed and bleeped out swear words. Poor Google. Alright, I love what I call positive pranks. When my partner is near done with their drink, I sneak in and replace it with a fresh one. Super funny when it has a lid or a pop tab and they go to drink it and nothing comes out. But then, fresh drink. Okay. Basically just and then this whole thread is just people talking about how they pranked their husbands, blah blah blah. Oh wait, there's something about how pranks are subjective. Hang on. Okay, let me fix my statement then. Pranks are subjective to who the prank victim is. On TikTok slash YouTube Shorts, there's a family who pranks each other by setting elaborate traps that end with a balloon popping on the victim with a mixture of water and shaving cream in it. They are clearly okay with that. I wouldn't be. I don't enjoy the strange, grimy sort of feeling. Link here to what? As a side, that same family also uses some sort of large and loud confetti popper in their pranks. Clearly, you wouldn't do that to a war veteran with PTSD. This is something I'd super enjoy. If your SO was a sexual assault victim, you shouldn't prank them like that. But that's really fucking long winded, and my original statement still works. Pranks are like comedy, they're subjective to each person. If you want to successfully prank someone, you need to understand if they'll be okay with said prank. Easy test. If the person you did it to is laughing when they find out it's a prank. If the person you did it to isn't laughing, it was just you being an asshole. Ugh. Okay. Blah blah blah. This wasn't a prank. It was the shit test. It was a shit test. And because she didn't react the way he would have, he got upset. Then he doubled down. What a douche. Exactly. Double shit test that he made and failed at twice. And it was only after Reddit and TikTok didn't favor or side with him that he decided to own up to his douchiness. Does he even understand the trauma he put into his entire relationship? I'm guessing little man-child is going to see some other test on SM so that he can Pikachu face when finally she decides enough is enough. Yeah, I see no way for this to have gone right. Holy crap. Okay, yeah, this is ridiculous. I hope it doesn't work out. I hate to say that, but I sincerely hope it doesn't, because this guy is a toxic man-child. And supposedly, if he hadn't got the feedback he did from Reddit and TikTok, he would have just kept on going and then gone forward with the divorce. I mean, it'd still be a terrible thing to do if he pretended to cheat, but then, as soon as he saw she wasn't laughing, he apologized right away. But to dig in his heels like that, and then supposedly he tested her again with the whole like walking away thing to see how she'd react, and he got upset because again she didn't react the right way. Then a third time with the divorce. Supposedly divorcing her and then, oh, you didn't react the way I wanted. I don't like it. You're so mean. Whatever. Oh my god. Such a BS thing. Honestly, there are two ideas in my head. One is that he just wanted to test her to see how she would react to know if she truly loved him or not, which if you don't even know if the person you're with truly loves you, why are you with them? You shouldn't be together. The second idea is that he wanted to see how he would react, how she would react because he wanted to test the water so he could possibly cheat later. In which case, why would he be upset? Why wouldn't he be like, okay, well, if she's gonna if she's gonna just not care, I'm gonna go cheat then. And he would have gone on to do the actual thing. Whatever. Either way, it's BS. Either way, it's BS. Regardless of like what. I hope not. I hope she decides to go through with the adult app. I hope she decides to go through with the divorce after all. Yes, exactly. I do in fact hope. Okay. If it were me, I would have lost all love for her husband the second he revealed it was a prank. I couldn't be with someone who would consider something like that to be even remotely funny. You're right, what he did was actually worse than if he were having an affair. And what about his stupid sophomore friend who put him up to it? There's at least one more person who thought this would be uproariously funny. I wonder if she'll ever be able to trust him again. I hope not. I hope she decides to go through with the divorce after all. Exactly. He was ready to disrupt their kids' lives with the divorce just because he didn't get immediate gratification. That line made my hackles go up. He is fucking spooky, and I can totally see why she is mind fucked. I hope she gets away. His behavior is frightening. There's a lot of there's a lot of comments for that insane story. That's fucking nuts, you guys. That's fucking nuts. All right. But anyway, I can't, guys, I can't. Alright. Alright, I think I'm gonna be done with this in a minute. And I actually really have to use the bathroom, so I think it's time I take a break. Well, not a break, but just end this video and come back later. I know I only read a couple of stories, but it was either this or you guys would have had to wait longer, and I really wanted to just put out some content for you guys, even if it was something small, because I just really I wanted to put out some content for you guys because I'm probably, if I am able to get my book back, then I'm probably gonna start like, if I'm able to get my book back, I'm probably gonna be gone for a few months editing it, and there's gonna be no content at all. So, um, I just think that yeah, I think I'm gonna end it here. Do 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 do. All right. Sorry, I'm just reading these comments in the original the original story that we read, Am I Wrong for Not Giving My Sister My Baby? And I actually went to the Am I Wrong subreddit to read some of these comments. And they're all saying that going no contact is the best idea, and all kinds of stuff like giving OP all sorts of advice. Someone simply says, never let these people meet your child. Yeah, for real. You gotta ban them all. Um, there's a lot. Alright. Oh, here's one that says, Your half sister is extremely unstable and the others are her enablers. Exactly. Cut bait now. She will either try to kidnap your child or she will try to sleep with your husband. These people have no good intentions for us. I'm gonna go. Um, by the way, I saw my snake eating yesterday and it was super cute. I think I'm just gonna put some of the pictures of him eating that I got the other day into the community posts because he's really cute and it's really cute and I love it when he eats. His face looks so dopey, even dopier than usual. Anyway, I love each and every one of you guys. Please don't forget to always be Anyway, I love each and every one of you guys. Please don't forget to always be yourself. You are valid. Don't forget to be good to yourself and to others. And I will see all you guys in the next video, which will probably be the 21st. Bye.